Imagine dropping $3 million on a hypercar only to be told, "Buddy, you can't drive this in the States. Oh, and every 31,000 miles? We're ripping your engine out and throwing it in the trash." This isn't a joke. This is the Mercedes-AMG ONE. It's the most absurd project in human history, a car that technically shouldn't even exist. Even the CEO of Mercedes, Ola Kalanius, once said, "We must have been drunk when we greenlit this thing." Today, I'm tearing this beast down bolt by bolt. You'll find out why it sounds like a vacuum on steroids, why it uses air instead of valve springs, and why a simple service costs as much as a penthouse in Monaco. Buckle up. This is F1 for the street, and it's trying to kill you. But it'll do it in a way that makes you beg for more. Let's be real. When you think hypercar, you're picturing a screaming Ferrari V12 or Bugatti's monstrous W16. But here, you're looking at a 1.6-liter engine. That's basically 3 juice boxes. But this juice pumps out 1,063 horsepower. This is the exact same power unit Lewis Hamilton used to dominate the 2015 championship. But there was a catch. An F1 engine is a high-maintenance prima donna. You can't just turn a key and go. In the pits, they use external pumps to circulate hot oil before it even fires up. And when it does, it idles at 5,000 RPM. The mad scientists at AMG spent 5 years just trying to get this thing to idle at 1,200 RPM. Why? Because otherwise, it would literally melt itself at the first red light. It was engineering hell. They had to redesign everything, from the crankshaft to the injection system. And even now, when you hit that start button, the car doesn't fire up right away. It sits there for 60 seconds while the electric heaters bake the catalytic converters to 500 degrees. You're standing in the parking lot looking like an idiot while your Mercedes thinks. But when it finally wakes up, that shriek is something you'll never forget. Now, look at those louvers on the front fenders. They're not just for show. In race mode, they pop up like scales on a mechanical beast. But the real magic happens when you engage Strat 2. The car literally slams to the ground. The front suspension drops by 37 millimeters, the rear by 30. You wouldn't even be able to drive over a pack of cigarettes. Mercedes used a pushrod suspension setup straight out of F1. No standard springs here, just a complex system of levers designed to keep the car dead flat through corners at 200 miles per hour. And then, there's the DRS. You've got a button on the steering wheel, just like F1 Pilot. Hit it, and the massive rear wing flattens out, killing the drag. It gives you that extra kick in the pants to hit top speed on the straight. But a word of warning, if you forget to close it before the next turn, you'll be meeting the barrier faster than you can say mommy. Let's talk about the numbers, the kind of physical violence that actually hurts. 0 to 60, 2.9 seconds. Sounds standard, right? But how about 0 to 124 in just 7 seconds? Think about that. In the time it takes your neighbor's Toyota Camry to just reach 60, the AMG ONE is already doing double that speed and pulling away like a rocket ship. Top speed is electronically capped at 219 miles per hour. Why? Because at that velocity, the active arrow is the only thing keeping you from launching into orbit. And here's the real kicker: fuel economy. Mercedes claims 26 miles per gallon. 26! That's right, even in the gas mileage department, your neighbor's Toyota just lost. But there's a catch. That is only if you drive like a grandma on a Sunday morning. Because on the track, when all 1,000 horses wake up and start screaming, those numbers go to 0. You are literally burning cash, burning rubber, and burning high-octane fuel at the speed of light. But who cares? Because behind your head sits the tech that Lewis Hamilton would trade his Ferrari salary for. So why does this engine scream all the way to 11,000 RPM? Here's the deal. At those speeds, standard steel valve springs just can't keep up. They'd start to float, losing their rhythm, and the entire engine would basically turn into a pile of expensive shrapnel. That's why Mercedes went with pneumatics. Instead of springs, they're using compressed air. We're talking space-age tech that requires insane levels of precision just to stay synchronized. But the engine is only half the story. The AMG ONE is packing 4 electric motors. One is integrated directly into the turbo. That's the MGU-H. Why? So you never have to deal with turbo lag. The second you floor it, electricity spins that turbo up before the exhaust gases even arrive. There's another motor on the crankshaft, and 2 more powering the front wheels. This turns the AMG ONE into an all-wheel drive monster. It claws at the asphalt like it has teeth instead of tires. But there's a catch. This entire complex hybrid system weighs as much as a small whale. To keep the car fast, the engineers had to build the body out of the kind of carbon fiber you'd usually find on a fighter jet. It's light, it's stiff, and it's probably more expensive than your entire neighborhood. Now take a look at these wheels. These aren't just rims, they're forged magnesium masterpieces. Why magnesium? Because it's lighter than aluminum, but costs as much as a Boeing wing. But the real kicker is those carbon fiber covers. They aren't there for looks. They're designed to suck hot air away from the brakes like a jet turbine. One set of these wheels and tires costs more than a brand new Tesla Model S. If you curb one of these while parking, that's not a repair bill, that's a divorce paper in the making. And let's talk about the brakes. We've got carbon ceramic rotors that could stop a freight train. But in the AMG ONE, they act like a power plant. Every time you hit the brakes, the recovery system, the MG UK, harvests energy so aggressively that one session on the track could probably charge your iPhone for a whole year. This is literally a machine that turns speed into pure electricity while your eyeballs are trying to fly out through the windshield. Now, let's look inside. If you're expecting S-Class luxury, you're in the wrong place. There are no actual seats here, just some padding, glued directly to the carbon fiber tub. You don't adjust the seat, you move the pedal box and the steering wheel. That's it. You are basically a structural part of the car now. Speaking of the wheel, it's a rectangular unit covered in buttons and LEDs. It looks exactly like the one used in his F1 car. You've got the shift lights on top and a bunch of dials for things like traction control and engine modes. And because there's a massive air intake where the rear window should be, Mercedes just gave you a camera and a screen. There is literally no way to look back otherwise. And yes, it has cup holders and air conditioning, but they feel like an afterthought. It's so loud in here that Mercedes includes noise-canceling headphones, just so you can hear yourself think. This isn't a cabin designed for a road trip. It's a functional workspace for someone who wants to drive a race car to the golf course. Now, let's talk money. You just dropped $3 million on a car. Think the spending is over? Ha! Not even close. First off, let's talk service. Every 31,000 miles, the engine is effectively dead. That's its official lifespan. Mercedes tells you, we're taking the car back, ripping the engine out, and shipping it to Britain for a full rebuild. The estimated price tag for this little checkup? $850,000. For that kind of cash, you could buy a mansion in Texas or 3 brand new Porsche GT3 RSs. Then there's the US market. Mercedes basically told Americans, sorry, your environmental laws are too strict. We're not officially selling the One here. So if you're a billionaire in Miami, you can buy the car and import it yourself. But you can only look at it in your garage. Driving it on public roads? Forget it. Unless you want a one-on-one meeting with the feds, this is nothing more than the world's most expensive piece of carbon fiber art. So, what was the point of all this? The answer is simple. 6:29. 6 minutes, 29 seconds. That's the time it took for the AMG ONE to scream across the Nürburgring. As of right now, it's still the absolute king of the green hell. It's faster than anything you've ever seen with a license plate. This car is a monument to human madness. It's living proof that we can cram Formula One technology into a body with headlights and cup holders. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's hot as hell because the engine is literally breathing down your neck. There's zero trunk space. You're not taking this thing for a grocery run. But the moment you hit the track and engage Strat 2, you feel exactly what Lewis Hamilton used to feel when he was hunting for pole position in a Silver Arrow. Is it worth the money? For history? Yes. For real life? Absolutely not. But that's the whole point of machines like this. This isn't transportation. This is a direct challenge to common sense. Now, let's do the math on this suicide mission. You're paying $3 million for a car where you can't even adjust the seat. You're paying for an engine that's destined for the scrap heap in 30,000 miles. And you're paying for aero that might actually kill you if you don't hit the button in time. So why do people buy it? Because the Mercedes-AMG ONE is the last of its kind. It's the internal combustion engine's final kiss goodbye, wrapped in a carbon fiber shroud. This car makes zero logical sense, but every time that needle sweeps toward 11,000 RPM, you realize this is the peak of human madness. Is it worth the hype? Absolutely. Would I buy one if I had a spare $3 million? Maybe. but only if it comes with a personal F1 mechanic and a heart rate monitor that's permanently connected to the AMG emergency room. Because this car isn't about speed, it's about feeling alive while being one mistake away from a catastrophe. So drop a comment below. What do you think? Did Mercedes make the right move by unleashing this monster, or should they have played it safe with something more traditional? This was Veloctis. See you at the starting line.